Hi, I'm Anna Christian, riding for Trek Drops, and welcome to the Voxwomen Cycle Show.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series of the Voxwomen Cycling Show. The Spring Classics have been brutal, with both Boels Dolmans and Canyon SRAM dominating the racing. Coming up in this episode, we take a look at the team bike of Juliette Labous of Team Sunweb. We catch up with Alexis Ryan of Canyon SRAM after a breakthrough start to 2018. But first, let's take a look at how the action unfolded in the Classics phase of the UCI Women's World Tour. The Women's World Tour kicked off in the toughest way imaginable in Italy at Strade Bianche. Starting and finishing in Siena, 136 kilometres lay ahead for the women's peloton, with 8 gravel sectors and challenging terrain. As the snow from the previous week melted and temperatures rose above zero, the heavens opened and the rain came down. Conditions were nothing short of brutal. Elena Amialusic proved she is well and truly back after a broken pelvis last season and launched a blistering attack for Canyon SRAM. She was soon joined by world champion Chantal Black and Ellen van Dijk, a classy trio. The chasing peloton knew they couldn't let such a dangerous break go and reeled them back in after the 6th sector of gravel. An elite group of 25 riders were left at the front with 22 kilometres to go. On the penultimate sector, Italians Elena Cecchini and Longo Borghini attacked. Anna van der Breggen went with them. With 17 kilometres to go, van der Breggen and Longo Borghini had managed to shake off Nui Adoma. But when the Olympic champion kicked again, Longo Borghini had something caught in her wheel and could not follow her attack. Van der Breggen, in a class of her own, soloed to the line and celebrated in the beautiful Piazza del Campo. Nui Adoma, who had launched an attack on the last gravel sector to bridge across to Longo Borghini, outsprinted the Italian to claim another second place. Longo Borghini held on for third.
The team is really positive and supportive, and we have other options too, so it's not only me. I think we have a really nice team and we will play the game.
I think it's going to be a really hard race. The course has changed a bit, so the cobblestone sections arrive after 17k, so I think it's going to be a hard race straight from the beginning.
The second race in the UCI Women's World Tour was held in Drenthe in the Netherlands. The weather was damp and the 141 kilometres included the Vanberg and lots of cobbles. The pace on the Vanberg was prolific, with many teams, including Tibco, setting a strong tempo. A large crowd greeted the riders on the finishing laps. But at the finish, Boels Dolmans' Amy Peters just edged out Canyon SRAM's Alexis Ryan for the win.
Yeah, it was a hectic race today, especially in hectic final, and we tried to sit and break with the team, but it didn't happen in the end. So yeah, then we had to do a sprint, and I still felt good. So the girls gave me the chance to do the sprint, and luckily I could finish it off. It's really special. I think it's a nice World Tour race to win.
The peloton started from Bozinga with 143 kilometres ahead, including twice up the famed Kemmelberg. Gent-Wevelgem is known for narrow sections, tough climbs and some dirt roads included for the first time. The pace was constantly high, which over time reduced the peloton size, and a few crashes also brought down riders. On the climbs, Cervelo Bigler's Ashley Moorman-Passio was particularly prominent. She was keen to line out the group and further reduce its numbers. On the Kemmelberg, she was always pushing the pace, with Boels-Dolmans trying to reduce her dominance. The climbs and tricky descents ended up with a group of around 30 riders emerging at the front. It contained many of the top names, including Jolien D'Hoore, Elisa Longo-Borghini, and sprinters Hannah Barnes of Canyon SRAM and Marta Bastianelli of Ale Cipollini. Boels-Dolmans tried to control the pace for their sprinter Peters. Rosanne Slick of FDJ went clear. Her lead grew, but the peloton had it all under control, and she was caught before the finish. Luxembourg champion Christine Majerus urged the front of the race to get involved in the moves. In the final 3 kilometres, there was a flurry of attacks. But the group looked set for a sprint. World champion Chantal Black could be seen at the front, setting up the lead out for her team. The Ale Cipollini team were on her wheel. Chloe Hosking did a huge turn on the front for Bastianelli, while D'Hoore, the Belgian champion, was set to pounce. It was a tremendous sprint, ending in a blanket finish. Bastianelli just got the verdict from D'Hoore, with Lisa Klein taking 3rd for Canyon SRAM. One rider who has already taken a podium place in the World Tour this season is Alexis Ryan of Canyon SRAM, so we sat down with her to chat more.
I feel so proud of myself for what I've done this spring. You know, I worked really, really hard in the winter, and I've been quite motivated from the past 2 years because they were really unsuccessful for me. I mean, I learned a lot about myself and I learned a lot about bike racing, but as far as results, I really had nothing. And that kind of starts to wear on you when, like, you've dedicated your whole life to this one thing and you just can't seem to get anything out of it. So yeah, I worked really hard in the winter, and team camp came around. We had a late team camp in early February, and I was going really good, and I think everyone on the team was pretty surprised, and I was kind of surprised with myself too. And then once the season started, I just, you know, I had one good result, and then it's kind of just carried me through the spring. So I'm really happy. That first good result at Nieuwe Splaat really gave me the confidence that I had been lacking the past 2 years. And then, you know, I had Drenthe. That was pretty off on Westerveld. It was really funny with that race because I had all these things going wrong in travel that, like, I almost missed my flight multiple times. And I was like, what is keeping me from getting to this race? I will get there. And then I got there and I won, and yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then also Trenthe that was amazing. That was my automatic for the World Championships this year too. I knew I was capable of it. I mean, I think everybody is capable of greatness. You just have to really work hard for it. And you know, I had glimpses of my potential the past couple of years, so I knew what I could do, but I also knew that I had to be on really good form and be able to carry it through the spring, through the whole year, and be consistent, because I've just been really inconsistent for the past couple of years. And that's what I focused on this off season, was just consistency in everything, in training, in recovery, in nutrition. So yeah, I mean, I just really had to learn to believe in myself. I'm a very methodical person, and I like to be precise with things and do everything not in the right way, because there's more than one right way to do things, but yeah, in a very methodical way. And I like to see that all that hard work and being very disciplined with everything come to a head and show progress and results. And I guess cycling is just the sport that I chose to be able to display that. So, you know, it could have been soccer or running or something like that, because I did multiple sports when I was younger, but it's a family sport. So my dad was the one who got my brother and sister into riding and racing, and I think it's kind of the freedom of riding. You know, when I was younger, I really enjoyed just going out by myself and seeing the world by myself. And you can see so much more too. I think that's one of the reasons I chose road racing instead of track racing when I was younger, because I had a lot of people trying to push me to race the track. And I didn't want to, because I didn't want to be stuck inside riding around in circles. I wanted to be outdoors, seeing the world. My goals for the rest of the season are nationals. That's a big one for me. Just because it means so much to have to win and to wear your nation's jersey for a whole year. And then also, you know, my really big goal this year I've already accomplished, and that was to make the World's team, to get an automatic for the World's team.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Voxwomen Cycling Show.
The team bikes of the pro peloton have changed again in 2018, so we met 19-year-old French rider Juliette Labous and her mechanic Simon Fostermone to find out about the bike she rides.
All right, welcome team. This is the giant Live bike known as the Langmar. The Langmar bike features a woman-specific geometry, also complemented with the Durace, latest Durace group set. Starting from the front, we have the Durace STI levers, which are fully adjustable for reach. Plus we can program the shifting, making it faster and slower, etc. As you can also see, close to the levers is the front brake, as complemented also with the Durace rear brake, so they have a very nice stopping capability. As we make our way down towards the middle of the bike, we feature the Durace cranks. Thanks to our folks at Durace, we also have the capability of changing the large and the small chainrings, which will come in really handy this year as we attack the Giro Rosa with the Zoncolon. So we currently will be running tomorrow for Juliette a 53 large chainring and then a 36, and we can change those throughout the season depending on the race.
I really like about this bike, it's that first it's really light, and it's also, so Live is a brand who is specifically designed for women, so it's one of the first brand who does that, and it's so important because we have just specification for women, and it's really important, and you can really feel the difference between a man bike and a woman bike, so I really like it from this bike. Also the saddle is integrated to the frame, so it makes it also a bit lighter and also more compact. You also can go fast on a flat, and it's in climbing it just makes you much more faster than with a normal bike.
And now to Flanders. The peloton lined up in cold, wet conditions, a theme of this year's classics. Starting and finishing in Oudenaarde, the riders faced 150.9 kilometres with 5 cobble sections and 11 climbs. It was set to be a tough day. Early nerves, rain and white paint lines took down some riders. A huge crowd urged on the women on the famed Muur. And the support continued to motivate the riders to split the race. Olympic champion Anna van der Breggen, one of the race favourites, launched a huge attack just after the Kreuzberg. Ellen van Dijk just missed getting on her wheel. Ashley Moolman-Pasio tried with everything she had to close the gap, but van der Breggen continued to solo. Nine chasers worked hard on the cobbles to limit their losses. But van der Breggen was inspired. As the sun came out, she cruised into the finish line to take the victory. Amy Peters completed a 1-2 for Boels Dolmans, beating Annemiek van Vleuten to the finish. A courageous Ashley Moolman-Pasio took fourth after a lot of hard work chasing. The biggest crowd of the season so far greeted the women onto the podium. A sure sign women's cycling is getting more and more popular. An all-Dutch podium for one of the most brutal and iconic of the Spring Classics. After a great victory by world champion Chantal Blaak at Amstel Gold, the peloton moved to Flèche Wallonne, and the sun came out. On the super steep Mur de Huy, Ashley Moolman-Pasio was again showing her great form of 2018, setting a tough pace on the 26% gradient. The breakaway had been caught, which contained previous winner Megan Garnier and Amanda Spratt. As the line edged closer, Ashley Moolman-Pasio looked good. But Anna van der Breggen, celebrating her birthday, went to the front. Her teammate Garnier joined her, who had set much of the tempo in the race. Moolman-Pasio tried to launch a winning move, but was boxed in on the barriers by van der Breggen. Garnier was challenging too. But finally, the power of van der Breggen was too much. She thrust clear, opening up a few bike lengths on her competitors to give her a fourth consecutive victory in this tough race. Ashley Moolman-Pasio finally got the podium place she had been searching for throughout the classic season. A great day for Savela Bigler. Megan Garnier put the troubles of 2017 behind her to take a well-deserved World Tour podium place. And so to Liege Bastogne Liege, 136 kilometres through the Ardennes, starting in Bastogne and finishing in the Liège suburb of Ans. After attacks by Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, Ashley Moolman-Pasio, Megan Garnier and Annemiek van Vleuten, Amanda Spratt went clear. But Anna van der Breggen launched a solo attack with 5 kilometres to go and caught Spratt. Wearing the leader's jersey of the UCI Women's World Tour, Anna van der Breggen cruised uphill towards the line, checking to make sure she wasn't being chased. Van der Breggen has made Liège and Flèche her own in the last years, and she cruised home to take the win. Amanda Spratt finished second, her best ever result at World Tour level, while behind her, Moolman-Pasio and Van Vleuten fought for third place. Van Vleuten had the more powerful sprint, with Moolman-Pasio content today with 4th place. A great end to both riders' Classics campaigns. The title at Liege Bastogne Liege is Anna van der Breggen's 4th win this season, and she remains the UCI Women's World Tour leader, while her team Boels Dolmans close out the Spring Classics season with 6 victories. Next up, the Peloton sprint trains head to China for the tour of Chongming Island, the next stop in the UCI Women's World Tour. That's all we have time for this month as the spring season comes to a close here in the sunshine in Belgium. Next month, it's all about the Amgen Women's Tour of California empowered with SRAM. Until then, stay on top of all things women's cycling over on our social media at Voxwomen, and we'll see you all again soon.
Hey, it's Alexis Ryan. Thanks for watching the Voxwomen Cycling Show.